Thank you for joining us. Make sure to check out the audio version of this episode on Spotify, Apple iTunes, and everywhere else you get your podcast. Be on the lookout for new weekly episodes. You can find us by searching Nerditude Movie Podcast on YouTube as well for the video version. Just search Nerditude Entertainment, and you can get all the content that we do provide right out there. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the episode. Yeah.
All right, guys, we are back. We have two movies as usual. We're totally professional here on the Nerditude Movie Podcast. So we have two movies we're doing, Ready or Not and Mayhem. So we'll start off with our first movie as usual. So Ready or Not, this movie came out last year, August 21st. 95 minutes for runtime. Budget for this film was $6 million. Ended up making $57.6 million at the box office.
Should have made more.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
It should have. So oddly enough, a fun fact: this movie was distributed by Fox Searchlight Pictures, so it's technically a Disney movie, which is a weird thing to say. Yeah. So this film was directed by Matt Bettolini Olpin. I'm not saying the hyphen. You get one last name, and also Tyler Gillett. And if those names sound familiar, they both had producing and writing credits on VHS and Southbound.
Nice.
Yeah. So for cast, we got Samara Weaving, who's the main actress in this movie. She plays Grace. She is also, if that last name sounds familiar, she is Hugo Weaving's niece.
Really? Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
Something I didn't pick.
Damn it! Now she looks like fucking Agent Smith to me. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and she's an up and comer. She's been in Guns Akimbo. She's in her second movie, Mayhem.
Babysitter.
She's also she's in The Babysitter, which a sequel just came out on Netflix. Haven't checked it out yet, but she's awesome. She's awesome in all of the films I've seen her in so far.
Yeah.
We also have Adam Brody. He plays Daniel, the older brother, Daniel Lay Damas.
For all you OC fans out there.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
worked at Cocksucker too. I mean, I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's where you got to start from, working at the Blockbuster.
Adam Brody's been in a lot of stuff. I honestly only think of the OC, which I never watched when I think of Adam Brody.
I watched the first season of it. It was literally nights of, I would get off of school, I would play Battlefield 2 on my PC, and the OC would be on my TV in the corner of my bedroom. Just the first season, though.
So
that's when I decided what my orientation was.
We also have Henry Cerny, who plays the dad, which is an awesome character in this film.
Yes.
He was in The Exorcism of Emily Rose. He played
was a
the
good
main
movie.
doctor in that movie. And then we have Andy McDowell, who plays Becky, the mom. She was in Groundhog Day and, of course, Multiplicity, which is an awesome movie. So I will defend Multiplicity.
I'm not going to.
I love that one too, so don't worry.
Michael Keaton.
So the cast stretches on besides these few, but these are kind of the main focal points. So this film, basic premise, it's kind of a horror thriller. Grace, played by Samara Weaving, is a new member to this family and learns that she has to participate in a game that the family plays every time a new member gets indoctrinated into the family.
Married. It's on her wedding day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start off. Matt recommended this movie to me. I honestly kind of flew past my radar, and this is probably one of the coolest new horror movies that I've seen in a long time. The cool thing about this movie is, and I won't get into spoilers just yet, but this movie kind of does its own thing and wraps it up nicely without letting the the big like mystery surprise kind of get in the way.
Mhm.
And to me, that's awesome because like Samara's character Grace, like she's fucking awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me think of like a dark reverse Clue sort of.
Yeah. For me,
But
it
yeah,
was like
I
Clue meets
I
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, the film looked great. There are a couple uh kind of shooting scenes that kind of are a little jarring. Like there's some kind of shaky cam scenes in this film that don't really jive with the rest of the film in certain areas. That I was just kind of like, that's a little
Yeah.
odd. But yeah, Samara is awesome. The dad, Henry Cerny, he's fucking hilarious, and Adam Brody, um, surprisingly, is awesome in this movie too. But yeah, I liked it. I don't really have any bad things to say about this film. But yeah, Alex, what did you think about it?
I think the entire cast, w- starting to watch it, it was like I know them all from somewhere, and then as you started naming it off, I started figuring out, oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
You know, I know him from here, I know him from there, I
It
know him
is.
from
It is
there.
a little bit of a who's who type cast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the entire cast was just something that made me already feel comfortable as they were introducing them in. Um, but yeah, everything moving forward from that, the Samara, she's a great actress. Adam Brody, like I said, he's from the blockbuster era. Um, I like how it starts off where you really are listening to how these characters are being introduced, and you're not already like thinking like, who the fuck is this? Why do I care? Why do I have to give a shit? It was something that just kept you into it as it went along, and how it was progressing. And I liked it. I liked it as it started off, and it didn't disinterest me as it went along. And that's normally what happens to me when I start watching movies with like a big cast of people that I'm familiar with or whatever that I feel comfortable with. I start losing interest, and it didn't happen this way. And I enjoyed it. I liked it, and my wife enjoyed it, and she actually stayed awake, which is a big plus. And she didn't ask me a lot of questions. That's another big plus. She actually
that's a
watched,
box
and
quote.
she actually
Yeah.
watched it
My
and
wife was
watched along
silent.
with me. She
Two
watched
thumbs up.
along with me, and we learned together. It was a learning experience. So that's my take on it. Just no spoilers and involved, but I liked it so far. I mean, it was a great thing.
Ready
How
or
about you,
not,
Matt?
bringing families together. Has your marriage gone south? Ready or not, you're gonna watch a movie. No, I really liked it. As Lewis said, I recommended it. I don't know why. I'm a huge fan of Samara Weaving. I really feel like Margot Robbie needs to be put like on a shelf somewhere. Put her in the Disney vault. Give Samara Weaving like a shot because I think she's kind of like, you know me. I'm not huge into like the badass female thing, but I really like her as like kind of a badass. Like her character in Guns Akimbo is
Yeah,
is legitimately kind of a
I've
kooky,
yet to see
awesome
that one, but okay.
character. She was great in The Babysitter. Spoiler alert: basically, she forms a group of teenagers that go to murder this kid. She's his babysitter. Um, what else? The next movie we're gonna watch, she's great in that we're gonna review Mayhem. She's in. Everything that I've kind of seen her in, I've liked her in, and she's become one of those actresses that and it doesn't happen very often. That when I see she's in a movie, because of that, I'll check that movie out to see what's up with it. I like her that much. Movie overall is great. Like we said, it's Clue meets Cabin in the Woods. There's enough mystery to the end to kind of give you that that urge to keep seeing what's going to happen. There's some cool deaths, some funny deaths. The movie's got a great sense of humor, well
Oh yeah.
acted by everybody. You know, you really do feel like they're not evil, and we'll get into what's really going on, but you feel like they're just a family trying to do this ritual. And they act like a fucked up family, don't get me wrong. They're pretty dysfunctional. But it's there's you never it's never like you're never disconnected. It's never like they don't feel like they're actually family. Like the father's concerned with little things. His youngest daughter's having issues with the night, and oh, sweetie, no, come here. It's okay. Somebody get her a weapon.
It kind of reminds me of Nothing But Trouble.
Yeah, a little bit. Where it's they act like a family. Like they act like a normal dysfunctional family that happens to be doing some abnormal deeds.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit. But yeah, no, overall I thought it was great. I liked the cinematography of it. I thought certain scenes that had, the lighting was really done in it. It seemed like a lot of the scenes were natural lighting. So they used the house, as the lighting.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of dark, like nighttime scenes, which you see in a lot of movies where it bleeds into it.
Yeah, it looked like they were using some pretty natural lighting in the house, which was cool. The characters aren't stupid unless they're supposed to be. They're well written to the point where each individual character isn't isn't a dummy, but unless it's meant to be. Like the logical writing of it all works. I personally, my favorite characters to a certain extent is Adam Brody. I liked him throughout, but that's kind of my take on it. This is the point that we're going to go ahead and talk about more in depth. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review. So
if you don't want to know, skip ahead.
Yeah, or just stop being a jerk and listen to the whole thing. Alex, what's kind of your more in-depth review on this one?
There was a couple scenes that really stuck out to me. It starts out with her smoking, and then she ends up talking to the mom, Andie MacDowell.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Do you smoke?" And she's like, "No." Like those little things that stick out where she's trying to be like this really good girl.
Well, it's like any other relationship, like kind of movie in the beginning. Like it's you
want to be good to the mom. It's your mom. And then
guess who's coming to dinner?
And as the wedding is progressing, and you start getting that one evil. What does she have on her head, man?
Well,
she looks like
Helena.
a toucan.
So here's the thing.
We don't get the 30 years ahead or before.
That's the thing is you don't get a whole lot of bits and pieces of what the ritual is. They do explain at the end what it is, but it's
When I first watched it, I didn't put 1 and 1 together to make 3, and I didn't realize that Helena. I didn't realize that Helena was I thought it was the sister at first. The sister that came in with the powdered nose. She forgot to put her makeup on right, I guess.
No, yeah, and the to get deep into the spoilers, and you get the hints throughout the movie that there's more to it than just a ritual. There's some sort of occult-like ideal behind it.
And it was I don't know. I liked a lot of that stuff. One of the things that really stuck out to me was when she's trying to get to the what was it, the sheep pen, or what is it, the goat pen or something like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's in there, and
fucking punches the kid.
Yeah, she puts her hand up. She goes, "I'm so happy it's you. Are you okay?" And he goes,
"Yeah, it was the stable."
He puts a hole in her hand. And then she knocks him the fuck out.
It was such a rewarding hit too. It felt so good to see it.
And then she falls through the thing, and she's trying to pull herself back up. This is the part that stuck out to me, and I'm gonna let you go from here. But she brings her hand up, and I was like, "Oh shit, the nail! Oh shit, the nail!" And all of a sudden, her hand goes right through the nail, and there's a hole in her hand already, so she already covered it, and then that's how she kept herself up.
Yeah.
It's a rough scene.
Yeah,
that's all right. I don't want to give no more spoilers. I'll let you guys, because there might be some other juicy ones that you guys have, but that was the best parts for me that stuck out. And
anything that you want to say, this is the in-depth one.
There's so much, but we'll start back and forth after this, but those are the ones that I really liked, and the characters that were introduced as it went along. The sister that came in with the powdered nose, her dumbass husband.
Yeah.
Adam Brody's fucking
the only
fucking wife.
The only character that seems to have a soul in this movie, besides Samara Weaving, is Adam Brody. Like, he's the
Yeah,
only
well-
character that has any sort of moral compass.
Well,
But he's still
Alex-
willing to do what he
Alex
needs to
does
do.
too. Alex does too at the beginning,
And
but
but by the end,
he just loses it as it goes along because he forgets what he's he forgets what he's a part of.
I don't know, man.
That's just me. That's just me.
Yeah,
being
but
an
by
Alex,
the end, but by the end of it, like, you're biased, bro.
I'm trying to give him some credit. He,
I'm sorry. I'll let Lewis go on. Lewis, I'm sorry. Alex was at.
I'm good. Good.
Lewis, what's your kind of your favorite parts?
So I'll kind of jump back and forth, but jumping towards about when they introduce Grace to kind of what's going on. So the dad says that one of his ancestors made a deal with a man named LaBelle, which because I'm into that shit, I was like, LaBelle, that's Belial, that's the devil, it's a demon. But the cool thing is this movie.
I didn't pick up on that.
This movie doesn't like worry about like the big shit. It just kind of focuses on Grace, and I think in a lot of movies that wouldn't work. In this one, it does, because you're not like, it's one of those things where like that scene kind of goes by so fast that you're just kind of in the moment, and then you get to the end of the movie and you're like, oh yeah, this was going on. And even wrapping up at the end, when you do have the cool fucking explosion scene and you just briefly see LaBelle, the movie's just like, yeah, that just fucking happened. And it doesn't kind of like, it doesn't like kind of like shove it in your face. It's just like, here you go. I think that was awesome. I think that was so fucking awesome. Also the dad in
what
this
does
movie
it say? Less is
like,
more?
Yeah, exactly. The dad in this movie, him like trying to be like a dad and concerned about his kids was fucking hilarious.
All right, so for instance, the youngest daughter, which I believe is the coke nose one, the powdered nose one.
Yeah.
She's actually older than both of them.
Okay. She accidentally shoots one of their servants, and then she comes into the room with a crossbow, and then she comes into the room and she's oh daddy, and he's like, no sugar, you're not terrible, you're okay. And then she gets another crossbow and accidentally shoots another servant right in the throat, one who ran in to tell them that she saw Samara Weaving.
She's over here.
Yeah, fling. And there's so there's a couple really funny deaths in that regard where you see it coming, but how they do it's pretty well done.
And then fucking Helena with a fucking axe.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
So the explosions. I'm sorry, Alex. Did you have or Lewis? Did you have more to go on? I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I mean I'll let you jump into the ending scene, but that I did not fucking see coming. Did not see coming. And I do like that the whole time. The family keeps bringing up like, is this even real?
Yeah.
Is this something?
They question the entire ritual throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. There is one thing that I caught though. Once you get towards the end, obviously we're into spoilers. The dad does mention that there was another family that didn't follow this procedure, and they all, I think he mentions like the house burnt down and all that.
Yeah.
And
The house burnt down,
yeah, and it doesn't really explain like if that family had the same deal with LaBelle, and if they knew that happened, how do they not know if it's true or not? That was the one weird thing that kind of stuck out to me. But other than that, the whole last quarter of this movie is fucking awesome. And I'll let Matt talk more about the ending scene, which is cool.
Well, okay, so one thing that I think is kind of important to note is this movie takes 19 minutes before it gets into the meat of it.
Yeah.
There's only 19 minutes of wedding and introducing the family and blah, blah, blah. It is a quick-moving movie. It gets right into the kind of... So basically, the overall flow of it is Samara Weaving is a young bride. It's on her wedding day. She's being introduced to the family and brought into this rich family. So they tell her on her wedding day that they need the part of this ritual when they bring some new member of the family in They got to play a game. Now, most of these games are harmless. Most of them are everything from checkers to tic-tac-toe to just harmless kids games, except for one,
Harmless bullshit, yeah.
which is hide and seek. And Samara Weaving's character unfortunately pulls the hide and seek card. Now, hide and seek in this family's ritual is the entire family hunts the new member of the family. And throughout the movie, they're promiscuous about what happens if they don't kill her, if they don't finish the ritual. And what it shows is the family is now just ignorant. They don't know what the original ritual was as far as the meaning, the reasoning. These generations have diluted it so much, all they know is this is what they have to do because great-grandpa did it and we need to do it. They're just ignorant to what the family's actually done, including the father. So that's kind of one of the funny things to me is it's literally just like, we got to do it. And everybody approaches it with that same can we just get this over with? I want to go to bed, basically. It's just what they do every time somebody gets married or every time somebody hits on it.
Well, that's how the sister shows up. She's late to the event, and she's got the powder on her nose.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, everybody!"
Yeah. Well, because
thank you.
Well, because
Grace, thank you for pointing out that she's got coke on her nose.
Generally speaking, they haven't had to do hide and seek. They've gotten lucky, and none of the new members have had to play that game. So this is the first time for most of them. And you have Adam Brody who likes the bride. He likes her as a person.
Well,
so he's
tracking back, it was 30 years prior. At the opening, it tells that was last time
since that was
yeah.
And so they've so every generation that's in that room hasn't had to play hide and seek.
But there was 3 people that were there previous, which is the sister, and the 2 brothers.
Yeah. Well, Adam Brody, the father, the family members.
Yeah. I'm sorry to
because the one wife, Brody's wife didn't have to play it. She got another game, and the husband didn't have to play it either.
Because it was 30 years.
Yeah. So they set it up to where this form of the ritual has been 3 decades ago, and the first time they're playing it again, and it goes back to Samara Weaving being that badass that she kind of plays. She's just this rough and tumble bride who's not going to take shit, and if they're going to hunt her, she's going to do everything she can to hurt them. And it's just a great movie. It's, like I said, well written. The character isn't stupid. I love when the main character isn't stupid and they make logical decisions. The ending.
It's the fast acting.
Yeah, it's a quick moving movie.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
This is happening. This is what I'm gonna do this now. Instead of me being like, should I go over here and sit down for 5 minutes and
even in those scenes where she's kind of stagnant in a room, there's lines of dialogue where it's like, we need to get moving. Like when she meets up with her new husband again, and she's kind of in that mood of no, we need to get the fuck out of here. And that's when he starts kind of being more of a family member than a husband, where his transition starts to happen to where he has his own little breakdown of, I don't know if it's fucking real, but we're going to have to kill you. And he eventually calls his family in to kind of corner her. Lewis mentioned the explosion scene. Now, this is where I compare it to a thing like Cabin in the Woods. Because Cabin in the Woods was great because the whole movie they kind of talk about these gods and they're not forgiving, and if we don't do this, and then at the end of the movie they don't complete the ritual, and next thing you know the gods are coming up from the earth. And this movie does the same concept where you have that fear that they're not gonna give you a satisfying explanation, that the movie's just gonna kind of go on. And then literally, because they don't kill her by dawn, every single one of the surviving family members, including her new husband's, heads explode off their bodies. It is one of the most satisfying endings I've seen in a long time.
And then her reaction.
Yeah.
As it's happening, I was like, "Holy shit!" And my wife of all people, she was actually kind of smiling too. I was like, "What's going on?"
It's sweet, just sweet comeuppance.
Hey, let me say something real quick. The servant, butler or whatever, Stevens.
Oh yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. He
Yeah.
was actually a very.
That poor guy.
he was very honorable. What do you call it? Servitude. Like what would you say?
He,
Like he was for the family.
yeah,
Was paid well.
yeah.
I apparently, and he did whatever he could to help out, and to have him. Was he like Facebook living or something? What was he doing?
Yeah.
Driving?
Yeah. Yeah,
He
there's
decided to start singing.
the whole movie. I don't know, man. It's one of those movies that like it's
There
a
was
feel
no-
for as dark as it is. It's a feel good movie.
Exactly. It wasn't like I was being sad about what was going on, or I wasn't being like terrified. I was more like, what's gonna happen next? Like,
Yeah.
What's gonna happen now?
Yeah, and it's important to note that it's not really a horror movie. It's more of a thriller than anything.
Yeah.
Thriller comedy, dark comedy.
Dark comedy. Yeah.
It's not
So,
it's
and
not a
I-
pop out movie, which is nice.
I remember when this movie was in theaters because I kept seeing the trailer, and one thing I after the fact that I admire about this movie is that the trailers did not market this as a cult film.
No.
They didn't market it as like something to do with the devil. It was kind of just marketed as like hide and seek thriller, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the truth of it is the family, the ritual basically is they signed a pact with the devil. Generations ago, their business flourished. That's how they're...
Unknowingly.
well, no, they knew. I mean, they knew
Well,
that it...
they weren't the ones that signed it.
No,
so
but at the end of the movie, they all
Yeah.
participate in that satanic
Yeah.
ritual, so they know what's going on. And then that's the crazy thing is like the movie is a dark comedy, and this family is such a normal, for the most part, family. They're bitter towards each other, but they love each other. They're a little bit dysfunctional, and it's all built upon this idea that they're Satanists, which I mean, because that's what they are. And it's an interesting mix of like these are terrible people, these are soulless people, but you don't ever besides maybe
don't
the
them.
besides maybe the
Yeah.
sister of the father, you kind of don't like her. Like she's funny, but you're kind of like this bitch is for real.
You talk about Helena?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like she's the only character that I can give two shits about, but you really don't hate any of them that because they're all just trying to survive in the same realm.
Are we getting back to the part where she like it was at the beginning of the movie where
It was her husband.
it was her husband. It was her wedding night, and
Yeah.
her husband was killed.
Yeah.
They were hunting, and who was it? Adam Brody's character. What was his name again?
Oh, I know.
Daniel, he was sheltering Alex.
He put Alex in the cupboard, and he screamed out, "He's over here!" So he's the one that sold him out, and that's why he becomes the alcoholic that he is.
And that's why he's lost his taste for it, because the last time they played it, he was responsible for the death.
Yeah, he was responsible for the death, and I didn't put two and two together honestly until the very end when I saw the flashbacks of the sister with the two little brothers. I was like, oh shit, that's not her. And then my wife of all people, she put it together faster than I did, and normally it's not like that for her and I. When we watch movies, normally I'm explaining shit to her, but she goes, yeah, that's the one who her husband was killed. So that explains about her character and
Yeah. Why she's so
Well, even-
she's got that's why she's so tight with the ritual, because if she had to
Yeah.
do it and
If
her
she
love
had to
had to
lose her
die,
love.
nobody else is going to skip it.
Well, Adam Brody even has that scene with Grace in like the billiard room where he kind of tells her that
Exactly,
he
yeah.
doesn't want to do it, but then he
Yeah.
even is like, "I'm giving you 5 seconds."
I really like
Right.
his line when because I just rewatched it last night. When he tells her, he looks at her, he goes, "This doesn't end well for you." He's like, "But I'm not going to be the one to serve you up." And he like offers her the
Yeah.
alcoholic drink, and he's like, "You got 10 seconds." And that's the other thing is, even as he's feeding into the alcoholism, he's starting to drink, and he's like, 1 Mississippi, 2 2.5 Mississippi. Like you
Two
could
and a
tell he
half.
does not want to kill her. He genuinely likes the girl. He loves his brother, and he knows how much this hurts his brother. The only reason he called out Alex 30 years ago is to protect his brother from being the one to do it. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. His family's a group of Satanists that do this ritual every time somebody gets married, and it explains why he hates his wife and she hates him, because she's never had to have she's a psycho. His wife wants the murder, but's never gotten it, and he never wanted the murder, but has a taste of it. Is the problem?
Side note: another movie that he was in was The Grind. Grind, a skateboarding movie.
Yeah, I remember that
Oh
one.
shit!
Yeah.
And that's what I've been trying to get at, and I finally found it. Because I knew he was in something else, so I apologize. But go ahead.
No,
I like that movie that he was in too, because he played the same cynical type character, and I like that.
I mean, I like him as an actor.
He also never ages. That dude is, I think, in his late 40s.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, he's got to be at least in his 40s.
79.
He's 79 years old.
He's 79 years old.
No. He was born in 1979. He was born in 1979.
So he's like 40 or 41.
41.
Yeah. 79.
He will
He's
be
good looking
51.
for 79 years old. Holy shit.
Son of a bitch, I gotta be like him.
But that is, that's what I kind of liked about this movie is like they don't justify the actions of the family, but they just kind of like it's really one of those things where they take a side, which is clearly the bride's side. She's clearly the good guy. However, much like she's just trying to survive, that's all they're trying to do.
The family.
Yeah. On things that they didn't sign up for, rituals they don't want to have to do, but they have to.
Yeah, so it kind of makes you like everybody. That's what I was saying about the entire cast. Like as you're watching, you're like, I know these people from somewhere, and then as it goes on, you're interested in them.
Yeah.
And you're like, I like them all, but then you start figuring out, oh yeah, they're assholes, but they're not really assholes.
Well, it
is. Even jumping back to like the butler, where he's like so excited he caught Grace for the family, and just the look on his face, he's like, yes, and then he fucking gets killed.
But what was the song he was
love
singing?
that part.
Oh god, nah, I'm just kidding. Oh, that was the other thing too about the when they started playing the song "Hide and Seek." That was like another thing that just added to another level of like, oh, this is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
but it's not.
And that's the thing is they like, and that's the crazy thing is they could have totally gone straight horror movie if they would have gotten rid of the personalities of the family.
Yeah.
Like they could have made this movie where you hate the family from the get-go. There's no apathy. You're just like, fuck these people. But instead, they made you like them. So when you're sitting there and it gets a little creepy, part of you is like, man, this is fucking creepy. But part of you is also like, wait a second, this family's a bunch of goofballs. Like, why am I creeped out by them?
Yeah.
Like, they're a bunch of idiots. Like, you know what I mean?
Like the first job of what is it? The sister-in-law. She has to watch the front door, the door of the room.
Yeah.
And then she like gets sidetracked and he disappears inside because there's we didn't talk about this, but the entire house has secret rooms.
Yeah. Well, there's that little discussion. There's that
clue.
There's that discussion when they're like they haven't found her yet and they're already like down 2 servants because the daughter has killed 2 servants. And they're like, let's use the cameras. Or the wife says, let's use the cameras. Mm-hmm. And the sister, no, it's not tradition. And he's like, if it's not tradition, only because the technology wasn't there. If Dad would have had cameras, he would have used them.
The cameras, he would have used, yeah.
So then that and throughout the whole movie, the son whom she married, you think is on her side, and it gets to a point towards the end where he flips and he's now more worried that they're not going to complete the ritual and what's going to happen to us. And that's the thing is there's that scene in there where they kind of talk about if he wouldn't have flipped like he did, the ritual would have been donezo. He would have survived it.
No, I think what made him flip was when he saw his brother die. He looked at it as it was his wife's fault that he died. Not I think it was his brother dying. If his brother would have been able to mouth the words, "I helped her," I think Alex would have been like on his wife's side.
But that's the thing, though. He was, and if you pay attention throughout the movie, when he's on her side, he's not part of that ritual.
Right.
Only at the end, when he flips on her, does the actual ritual apply to him. So had he had her back the entire time, he would have survived if everybody else didn't.
Right.
But because he flipped on her, and because him flipping was him making the blood agreement again for himself. Because he didn't participate in the original ritual, and Adam Brody did, that's when Adam Brody was indoctrinated into the ritual. So that's the whole cupboard scene in the beginning is telling you Alex was hidden. He wasn't part of the ritual. He's never been part of this. And they don't say that till the end. And then they give him enough rope to hang himself. And sure enough, he puts himself in the ritual and becomes a participant with the rest of the family. And that's his ultimate downfall.
Because he's been gone for a long time.
He actually left.
The scene where Alex meets back up with Grace towards the end, and she makes the comment like, or no, he makes the comment. He says, "Will we still be together after this?" I was watching it with Shay, and we both look at each other, and we're just like, "Nah,
no,
us, nah."
And I do find it funny that throughout the course of the night, by the time it comes to where she watches her new husband's head explode, she's just kind of like, like she got that look on her face, like
I said, she found it hilarious at the end.
Yeah. Well, they tried to kill her all night, and then her loving husband freaks out on her, and serves her up to the rest of the family.
Did anybody else notice this, where he was chained to the bed, and he's going like this to break himself free from the wood?
That would not have worked.
Now here's my thing.
Nope.
Couldn't he have just stood up and then did it that way?
Theoretically.
That's what I was telling Shay. I was like, just swing your legs up.
No, he could have just stood up, and then
up the
turned
banister.
around. Yeah, he could have turned around whichever way his arm had to go, and then did whatever he had to do to fucking get free. That part was pissing me off every time they kept showing him. I'm like, that was I don't know. That's the only part about the whole movie that really pissed me off about shooting it and being common sense, because the entire movie had no flaws as far as what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know,
the characters didn't make goofy decisions.
Right, but that was the only one from Alex that really angered me. Was why did he just stand up and turn around instead of keeping his hands behind his head? Because if your hands are behind your head and you're able to stand up, you can find a way to turn it around.
I feel like they made, if it was an intentional decision, it was made to also kind of highlight, like, is he actually trying to save her? Okay. Like, where does his loyalty actually lie? Like, is it real? That makes a little more sense now that you're explaining it. You know, because like throughout the movie, they're trying to give, like, they try to throw you off and give you subtle hints one way or the other of like where these characters' loyalties lie, and especially regarding him, because you don't know throughout the movie. You assume he's got her back the whole time, and then that changes.
Yeah, I honestly didn't see him being a villain at the end.
I didn't either.
It was almost over. Up until it was almost over. I think my wife figured it out before me. And like I said, she figured out. She really loved this one. She told me, she goes, "I love this one more than the other one." She watched both of them with me. But she told me she really loved this one more than the other one because it made her, you know, like, and it like engaged her the whole time. And I was the one like talking to her the whole time. Well, why isn't he standing up? It's pissing me off. So I was like, it was like role reversal for me and her.
See, I saw him turning on her at the end, but I thought it was going to be one of those things where, like, if they would have went the traditional horror movie route, like if I was directing it and was going that route, I would have had it end where she survives the rest of the family, and then he straight up kills her.
Yeah.
Like, I would have had it where, like, but I thought they were going to go that route where, like, she survives and, like, he's the last remaining surviving member of his family, and they have a, you know, like a weird...
It all becomes his enterprise.
Exactly. I thought they were going to, like, do something that. So I found it refreshing that it literally ends with their heads popping off like the fucking dudes from the Kingsman.
And the final line, what happened? Yeah, in-laws.
She just sits on the porch and lights a fucking cigarette. Like that is the most human reaction ever, to just sit on a porch and light a cigarette.
I do think it's to piggyback on what Matt said earlier. It's kind of funny because if you take the family dynamic out of this movie, it becomes one of the 700 movies that Blumhouse puts out every year.
Yeah, it could be. It's literally The Strangers, without the characters' personalities.
Is that the one where they're knocking on the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I've been stuck in a box for a long time.
But overall, I really liked it. I liked how it felt. To me, it really had a similar feel to Cabin in the Woods, especially when you think about the scenes of like when they first go into the basement in Cabin in the Woods and see all the different items that are haunted that they're going to touch. You compare that to when they're pulling out the weapons from the ritual. Like, it's got a very similar atmosphere, and I love Cabin in the Woods. So for me, it was very welcome. And it's got that same level of kind of really dark humor. I mean, the most violent shit's going on, and you're still laughing in this movie. If you're not laughing at a line that somebody says, you're laughing at the fact that like Samara Weaving at times is just a total badass. And some of the shit she does to get back at them is fucking hilarious.
Well, some of the one-liners they kept throwing out too, that was good. That was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean the bantering between the family members or the bickering is lovely, especially Adam Brody and his wife, because she is just brutally ruthless. The dumb husband for the sister.
Having to YouTube his fucking how to use a crossbow.
Yeah. You know, because these people, you know, in the Adam Brody's wife even says it, like, you know where I started, where I came from. She's like, I'm willing to do anything to keep this lifestyle. So right there, she's, you know, that there's constantly within the lines of dialogue, these characters are reaffirming the idea that they are full in on this pact with Satan. And once again, that's the downfall of Alex at the end, because he fully goes in, and next thing you know, it's, oh, you're part of it. You were kept out of it for 3 decades. You never had to be in this, and you did it now. You're a hunter. Which I think is awesome, because it's very Ghost Rider-esque.
You can't go back into the office, or you can't go back to the room or whatever. What was it? The game room, they called it?
Yeah.
Le Domas. Domas game room.
But you know,
I
thought it was awesome that it connected to, like, it wasn't just psychos, that there was a reason they were doing this, and it was more than just psychos. It was all in all a fairly decent family, but a little dysfunctional, who just happens to be Satanists that'll murder your bride.
If the card came out where you had to play checkers, and you play checkers,
you would have had a lovely evening, and you would have a beautiful marriage, and you would have hated your husband in 5 years, and you know, you would have had to do the next one.
If hide and seek came up, you had to kill somebody. How do you explain it to your family, honestly? Well, today we got hide and seek. No, today we got checkers. But then how do you explain it to your wife? Next year, if somebody gets married, we might have to kill someone. Do you say that?
Well, see,
or do you wait until it happens?
Well, that depends on the family member. Like Adam Brody was straight up with his wife. Adam Brody told her, and she was all in.
So did the sister.
Yeah, but her husband was dumb. Alex hid it.
Her kids were all fucking gun-ho about it, because he's the one that shot her in the hand. Shot Grace in the hand. What'd she say? You little fucker, and she punched him.
They were just they're fucked up family, man.
I still can't get over that.
The whole movie was really good.
That part made me fucking laugh so hard when she punched him in the face. Because you know what?
He deserved it. He fucking deserved it.
I think if I would have got shot by some little fucker.
All right, so let's wrap up on Ready or Not. Any last words on it?
No, man, I thought it was great. I honestly, it's seriously a movie where I just I was focused the whole way through. Like, I wanted to see where it ended.
Yeah.
And especially the way the movie wraps up, the payoff is just totally worth it.
Yeah, it's really good. Alex, anything?
No more fuck ups and do a line of coke. Oh wait, that's the sister. Sorry, that's the sister. No, I really enjoyed it. The fact that my wife was actually able to sit and stay awake through the entire movie and watch it with me, it made me happy. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say that.
this is
I'm
one
gonna
of
say
those
that much about
movies,
it.
when I watched it with Jen, she was very apprehensive about it. And then, like, halfway through, she was all in. She was like, no,
I,
no,
wa-
let's see what happens.
I watched it with Shay, so it's got the Nerditude movie
Yeah.
podcast wife
Wife approval.
wife approved.
Wife approved.
All
So
right.
do we want to give this a hot
But
dog rating out of 5?
Yeah. Alex, did you have something to say?
who wants to start? Who wants to start it? Who wants to give the hot dogs first?
You go ahead.
I'll go.
Lewis, go
Wait,
ahead.
do you want me to throw a hot dog at you first?
If we could figure out how to do that.
Yeah, so this one gets a 5 out of 5 for me.
For me, for the first time, I'm gonna do 5 out of 5. So I think that this kept my wife. And there was so many things. She approved of it. I actually didn't have to answer questions, and I liked all the characters, and I didn't have to actually think too much later on, but it did keep me guessing until a little bit for me, like what this what was going on. But I liked it, and 5 out of 5.
I too would give it a 5. It's one of those movies, like, there's very few horror movies that you can watch and walk away from them feeling good. And I think any movie that's dealing with that dark of content that can make you feel good about what you just watched. I mean, you just watched people's heads fucking explode. And you laughed your way through it. Like, I think that's a good achievement. I give it 5 dogs out of 5. Yeah, it's one of those movies my wife likes, I likes. It'll be in our Halloween rotation when we're watching.
Is it gray relish or green relish?
See, here's the thing, man. People love the green relish. I personally am a fan of sweet relish. Which,
You don't like the gray relish?
No, I don't know gray relish.
What the fuck is gray relish? I
Old is what it
I don't
is.
fucking like gray relish.
It's fucking old. It's moldy. But yeah, no, I love that. I like it quite a bit.
Ba-bam.
All right, so our second movie of the night also features one of the main actress in Ready or Not. So this film is called Mayhem. This was released November 10th, 2017. This came out on video on demand. This film has a very, very small budget. Ready or Not was $6 million. This is $2.5 million.
Shit.
Yeah, running time of 86 minutes. This film was directed by Joe Lynch, and it's starring Stephen Yeun as Derek Cho, who we'll just call Glenn from now on.
He's gonna be known as Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn the Walking Dead is his full name.
Sorry, Stephen Cho.
He could also be Chow, or what is it called?
No.
Chew.
No.
Chew, the comic Chew.
No. Glenn.
Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
Stephen
I know
Chu?
what you're
The
talking
stand-up
about.
comedian?
Okay,
Man,
at least Lewis knows what I'm talking about. All right, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
obviously, this also stars Samara Weaving as Melanie Cross, who I would say really steals the show in this movie.
She won me in
Yeah.
the last 2 movies, though.
Yeah,
So
she takes it
another-
away.
Another
She
interesting
won my heart.
interesting fact about this movie. So jumping back to the first movie, Ready or Not, that was shot in 26 days, not consecutively.
Holy
but that's
shit.
that's a relatively low budget movie.
That's
as
pretty
well.
cool. I
$6
mean,
million.
shit.
For the amount of,
It's a
for
great
Ready or
movie.
Not, you said?
Great movie for less
Yeah,
than a month of
this-
shooting.
26 days, and for how much was it?
6 million.
$6 million.
Holy shit.
So this movie, because of the low budget, they had to shoot consecutively. The only place they found that would let them shoot in an area for that 25 days straight, which is what this movie did, was in Serbia. So
Wow.
out of like elimination for all the places they wanted to film, they were forced to film in Serbia and shot this film in 25 days.
Yeah, I think if you have to film in Serbia, you're like, how can we hurry this up?
Yeah.
Can we get this done
I
in
mean,
24
that
days,
too.
maybe?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, so I guess basic
We have
kinda
30 days. We'll do it in 25.
Yeah, right. Get the fuck out of here.
basic premise for this movie. So this movie, there's an established virus already in this movie called ID7 or Red Eye virus. Yeah. So Glenn from The Walking Dead works for a law firm that basically he helped get the Red Eye virus allows, or it makes people like lose their moral integrity. They kind of act in their darkest impulses, whatever deep down dark thing they want to do, they end up doing. So you could say some of them are zombie-like, others kind of just do crazy erratic things.
See, and that is the differential, that's differential in this movie is there not many of them are zombie-like. I mean, there's that one panning scene where it goes from somebody's killing somebody to these two are having sex to these two are doing this. So it really does kind of give you that idea of like this is less of a zombie movie and more of the idea of their inhibitions have been completely wiped away and it's raw emotion.
Yeah, their inability to connect.
Yeah.
And I guess a more appropriate is like not everyone's killing in this movie. People are just doing like crazy wacky things.
Cuckoo bananas.
Yeah.
But Glenn, I'm gonna call him Glenn this whole fucking review.
Sorry, Stephen Joe.
Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Stephen Young.
Stephen Young. Whoops.
So
sorry.
He ends up getting
Joe.
this position for this law firm because there's a previous case he worked on that he basically got someone out of getting in trouble for killing someone. So that's kind of the basic premise.
The first person acquitted for the Red Eye.
Yeah, so the Red Eye virus kind of ends up taking over this office he works in. They're forced to quarantine, and Stephen Yeun's character ends up getting fired just as everything goes down, and kind of makes his way to the top to get his revenge. That's kind of a basic plot. I guess jumping into thoughts for this movie. This movie feels very like it is very low budget. Everything about it, the feel, the look, the kind of pacing, but everything in it just works. If you've seen the Belko Experiment, I would say this
basically
is kind of
the Belko Experiment, which is much more of a serious tone.
Yeah. So this is like a more loose take on that.
Yeah.
And I think I preferred this one over Belko Experiment. Even though that one has Dr. Cox.
I know that's the one thing you get. You tell me John C. McKinley is in the movie Wild Hogs, so yeah, I've seen Wild Hogs. That's how much I like that motherfucker.
But I liked this movie. I honestly I'm biased on Samara Weaving, but you could have flipped her character with Stephen Yeun, and it.
Yeah.
I don't know. She made the movie. As soon as I saw her with a Black Dahlia murder T-shirt, I was like, okay.
Well,
yeah, she's awesome.
To not go into too much detail, they don't give you a reason to like Glenn. He's kind of a pompous ass who makes way too like he worked his way from mailroom on up, so he's made himself the money and gotten his status. But he's also kind of a prick, so they don't give you any real reason to kind of be on his side. Meanwhile, she's in there trying to get her keep from losing her home, and
based on how his life was going, he was becoming a prick because of how he had to make himself a prick.
Yeah, and
make himself a success.
And as you find more and more about who these people on the quote unquote board is, you find out why it's such a cutthroat thing and why all these people that work there are.
What makes that relatable to real life is you actually have to be a prick to make yourself successful in life.
Well, I think that's
depending on what your job is.
Well, I think that's the one of the points the movie's trying to kind of sub throw in there is the more money you make, the more ruthless you have to become, and these people at the top are some of the most nasty people you'll ever meet.
But it also shows you where he's at and what he really thinks about it and how it goes from there. It's like, I'm going to take advantage. Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, meanwhile, Samara Weaving is just trying to save her house from foreclosure.
Right.
And she's just kind of she's playing the character that she's going to be at this point known for, which is, fuck you, I'm, you're not going to tell me what to do type character. Which I think, she's cute as a button. It just suits her.
Where did she have the Black Dahlia? Where did she have the Black Dahlia shirt?
Underneath, she had like that,
when she took off the one shirt. I see. I wasn't even paying attention to T-shirts. I was paying
It's a-
attention to tennis shoes when she saw
the
the shoes
band I-
under the when she
the
saw the
band I-
shoes under the desk.
It's a band I discovered in high school, and they're still fucking awesome. But this movie also does do a nice job of kind of setting up its key players, whether it be the boss or Kara Powell, who goes by the Siren, or the Reaper.
The
So
HR rep.
Yeah. So it clearly sets up these pieces for Steven Yeun's character to want to get revenge on all of them. So I liked it. I kind of like this one better than Belko Experiment. I
As
think
similar as they are, they're entirely different feeling movies. The atmosphere is
yeah.
100% opposite of each other.
I don't think Steven Yeun is a great actor.
He's not a good leading
especially-
man.
No, especially when you have him aside someone like Samara Weaving.
With the amount of charisma that young lady has.
He does have a
Yeah.
good voice, though. I liked his voiceover
He's-
as explained.
He's not a bad actor, but the problem is he's one of those actors that you're kind of forced to typecast as like that
Yeah.
kind of swarmy, geeky little dude, and he's never going to get out of that mold. He's always going to be that character.
Well, you never know. We still got a couple more years. He's gonna break out.
I feel like if he was going to break out, you'd have had it. You got to remember, he hasn't been on Walking Dead in how many years? He's not really moving very forward.
Yeah.
He did Mayhem, which is, like I said, a starring role. But in the same token, what else has he been in?
Yeah, but I mean that's that's all I want to say without getting into spoilers. Alex, I'll let you jump in.
I like how it started off with like I said, with the whole voiceover thing. I like how he was explaining things as it was going along. Looking at the characters and to like how they were doing it, like the Lester, the Reaper, Kara, the Siren, all those people. They started like as it went along. It was like pulling you into these characters and seeing how things are being brought about. One thing I found out watching this movie and researching is that Steven Yeun actually Steven Yeun, sorry, he did Voltron. He was Keith, the voice of the new Voltron.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I mean, there's not much I could say about Samara because she was in the movie that we were just talking about. Looking at my notes, I don't have much in my notes, but
so why are you looking at him,
I
stupid?
I was trying to see what I was doing. Dude, I can't even read my own writing.
Just so everybody knows, it's 1:45 or 1:54 in the morning right now. Yeah, good movie.
And I've drank about that much, whiskey. Anywho, no, but I did enjoy this movie as we were watching, and like you said, he's not the guy that you would expect to be in like big name movies, but he was good for this movie. He was cast right, like his character was the right person. And you said that Samara was the breakout role, or that like whatever.
She definitely kind of
like
takes over when she could,
She did, because like as soon as they introduced her in that one room. And
yeah,
you saw
with the
how
little
her
she's
character-
arguing.
how her
Yeah,
character responds, how her character responds to him coming in.
so cute.
And then as it goes, as it moves along, the two of them, you see that they're going to be like the main focus of the whole movie. You see who's going to be the alpha, in the roles.
One thing I do like about her as an actress is every movie I've seen her in, like whether it be Guns Akimbo or this or Mayhem, I love like she'll get her ass kicked a little bit, and it's not like in other movies where like you kick her in the stomach and she springs back up and punches you in the balls and I'm the tough girl. Like she legitimately takes she gets her this ready or not, she gets her ass whooped, but she in this movie specifically she delves it out pretty well.
What I've noticed about both movies though is her scream is kind of annoying when she starts yelling and screaming.
I don't know why.
It's like the gurgling. It's like the gurgling.
I don't even remember noticing that. I don't know why. I have not liked an actress this much. Like I really hope she really gets real like popping. Like she needs she needs to get Margot Robbie level of fame because she's killing it, man.
She is talented, but that whole screaming part, I don't know if you noticed it, man. But
I honestly don't even remember.
In both movies when she screamed.
I remember her yelling, but I don't remember having any feeling about it one way or another.
Yeah, well, you can review it later.
I have to. Yeah, I got to go over it again, see if it annoys me, so it'll ruin her forever.
But she is very talented. She is a really good actress. So yeah, but yeah, for the most part, I really did enjoy everything about it. What? Go ahead, move forward. How about you, Matt?
I really like the movie. I do. One of the things that they kind of do nicely is like, because the whole thing is like, this virus has spread through. It takes so long before you can quarantine it. How are they working together? And they kind of go into those scenes where they have those moments where they almost start killing each other. You know, the eye is red in there. They each are infected with it. As they progress floor to floor, each of them gets more and more violent. It's almost like you're doing the Mortal Kombat Challenge Tower, where they're wiping each other out in innovative ways. Fighting people around the office. Supporting cast is pretty great in this movie. I got to give it to the actor's name, Dallas Roberts. He plays Lester the Reaper McGill, the HR guy.
He is like so familiar. Like
he's
very recognizable.
Yeah.
He's in Walking Dead.
Yeah. I know. I saw that,
but he's also in like 3:10 to Yuma. He was in The Gray. I actually just watched The Gray again, and I was like, oh, that's a dude from Mayhem. Like if you haven't seen The Gray, by the way, it's got a great cast.
I have not.
With Liam Neeson, it's got Frank Grillo, this Dallas. It's got just a really good cast. Check it out.
That's the one where the cover like it's all snowy like type stuff.
Yeah, it's just like Liam Neeson's face. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I gotta give a shout out. The supporting cast did their roles well. You really hate them. Like there is never a moment where you're like, why is Glenn being so mean to them? Like you really want them dead yourself. What
was his best friend's name?
Oh,
I got lost.
Guy?
Yeah, I got lost there for a second with him.
I liked him. They kill him way too soon. Because he's kind of swept away in the chaos, and taken out.
Yeah.
I guess we're jumping into spoilers.
Yeah, well, this is the in-depth spoiler.
Well, I was just trying to figure out his name. I apologize.
But I do like the fact that it reminded me a little bit Judge Dredd meets The Raid-ish too. Yeah, how it's floor to floor to floor. The fighting's done pretty well. The violence is done well. You get your usual like, how can we use office tools to murder each other?
Or basement tools.
Yeah, basement tools. Yes, that's actually one of the. I was just going to bring that up. There's some funny scenes where they work together, especially towards the end, to start wiping them out and stuff like that. But I thought it was good. It gives you the ending is a little too atypical for my taste, too cliched in the horror movie genre, but it does give you that idea of almost like each one of these office buildings is like the strongest survive and move on to the next arena. You know what I mean? Like they give you that feeling of like this isn't over, and it's either your atypical ending of a movie where it's like spreading to a town near you, or it's they're watching him, they're gonna collect these people and make them do battle in the next one. You know what I mean? Kind of battle royal-ish. Yeah. But it was it makes sense now when you think about it that it was filmed in fucking Serbia. Why the end scene of them zooming out looks so fake. Because they were like, we have a lot of work to do to make sure this fucking city doesn't look like Serbia. Let's get to work, gentlemen. The editors and the CG guys, like, they're in the room just putting out cigarettes all night long as they're... This can't look like Serbia, gentlemen. This is the final shot of the movie. Sorry, go on. But yeah, Lewis, I know we touched about it. What did you kind of... I mean, I liked it a lot. There are not nearly as much as I liked Ready or Not, to be honest.
Yeah, I liked it too. I mean, this movie could have done a lot cooler things with a bigger budget as far as the plot goes, being stuck in an office, everyone kind of going a little crazy. But I think what this movie does with the budget works. I think the cast works. Um, I don't know. I liked it. I think it could have been a lot better, but I don't think it was a bad movie. I like the premise. I don't know how I would feel about this movie had I not seen the Belko Experiment, though. Because as soon as I heard that this movie was kind of like a similar premise, like I wanted to see it based off of that. So I wonder, had I not seen that movie, if I wouldn't care for this one as much, or kind of give it the pass with.
I saw
I have
Belko
not seen the
Experiment.
Belko Experiment, so
The problem is Belko Experiment has much more of a serious tone. So like when you watch them, in my brain at least, it kind of put this in the category of, oh, that's the goofy version of Belko Experiment. You know what I mean? Like that's the more comedic version. Belko Experiment's good. It's the same premise really. It's just more. It's not that it's more violent. It's just it's darker. Like the CEO of the company in Belko Experiment is like a former soldier. So the whole time like he's running. It's a different movie. It's a very close of the same base premise, but where they differ, they are heavy differences. Put it that way.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was shot okay for the budget, considering they conveyed chaos pretty well. They conveyed this idea that like, and I do appreciate the fact like, when you compare it to Belko Experiment was all about death. It was because Belko Experiment, as opposed to this one, isn't waiting out the clock. If I remember correctly, it was only so many
hours.
Yeah, there's so many hours are here, and if this many people aren't dead, we're gonna kill this many people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
That was Belko Experiment.
So yeah, so sorry, Alex. So Belko Experiment. I forgot you haven't seen it.
8 hours thing.
Belko Experiment. The whole thing behind that is it's an experiment. So they tell them you have to start killing this many people from your office, otherwise we're going to kill this many people. And they don't do it at first, and then the whoever is watching over them kills off so many people. Exactly. So then what happens is it becomes a survival situation where the kills and things like that get increasingly nasty and more violent. That's where Mayhem differs to where there isn't that time crunch and that's the funny thing, the funny difference. The time crunch in Belko Experiment is all about murdering for the sake of survival. And the time crunch in Mayhem is all about murdering these people before you can be tried again in court. The 8-hour limit is only there because you can plead insanity while you have the virus in you. So those 8 hours is all he had to kill all these fucking people and still plead insanity. It's such a fucked up premise.
John C. McGinley. I'm sorry, I can't say his name.
McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy. He was also in
Scrubs. Platoon.
Yeah, that one too. Office Space.
Any Given Sunday.
Office Space.
You can name one of any of his movies. He was in them.
Holy shit! I've never seen what that was. So now I see who it is.
Yeah, I have the Blu-ray. I gotta see if it's streaming anywhere because I have been wanting to watch it again. I haven't watched it in a while. So Mayhem, anything we'd like to say to wrap up Mayhem? Let's give it a rating as well. We'll start with Alex. How'd you feel about it?
First of all, as far as Mayhem goes, I liked how it moved up the levels. Like you were saying, it's got the levels, and I'm not sure how it goes, blah, blah. Anyways, I liked how they moved up along the ranks of how it goes. Being a person that worked in retail.
We all have, by the way.
You're like, oh god, I wish this was fucking real.
Yeah, if I could have climbed the corporate ladder at Blockbuster with an axe.
I would have been at the top a lot fucking sooner than fucking 10 years. No, but I really did enjoy this movie too, and watching it with my wife. I'm sorry I keep doing this, but this is like my standard of how I
wife approved.
Right.
She actually stayed awake but she did not like this one as much as she liked the first one.
This one was also much more violent in different ways.
Yeah, she didn't like the violence part about it, and she kept asking me, "Why are they doing this?" And I'm like, "Well, because they're infected."
They're crazy.
And just a side note, she was actually I went over to, before we started this, and she kept scratching her eye, and I looked at her eye, and her one eye was red, and I said, "Hey, are you like with ID7?" She did like.
Well,
made
now
like
she knows that she's got 8 hours to kill you all and still plead insanity.
She made a half smile, and she goes like, "Fuck you." Yeah. No, but the movie to me was a really good movie. There was a lot of stuff. I like the part where she cut him with the little saw.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the kills. I liked how they were when he kissed her, and like after he knocked her out, and then like you had to make that choice. Like, do you want to save yourself, or do you want to save her?
Yeah.
And he like knocked her out, and then like when he kissed her with like a couple of the bolts from the seat,
Yeah.
telling her, I loosened it up for you. That was some pretty good shit. I like how it tied in. And
Yeah, because basically he turns on her, or so you think.
right.
Yeah, and in reality, it's he's
It's where he turns on her. But for a second there, I thought that he did it. I was like, holy shit, he fucking like he's moving on.
Yeah, the premise is they basically tell him, you can be part of us, you can be part of the upper echelon, kill her. And he basically leaves her and says that I'm not going to do it, you do it, and leaves the room. But he had undone the bolts for her, so she's able to escape.
I liked how it all finished off with him finishing off everything. It didn't leave no loose ends at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's also the kind of the running theme, because Ready or Not also wraps itself up in a nice little bundle, package.
Nice little bow.
Lewis, any final thoughts on Mayhem?
I mean, I appreciate a low budget movie that actually uses the budget that they have. Which, I mean, if you jump back to the last episode, the Nerditude movie of the year, The Shed. So if you jump back to that, I mean, if you have a low budget movie that actually utilizes the cast and the budget and just the look and the style of the movie, and doesn't blow it all on a fucking movie poster that makes it seem like it's something it's not. So I
blowjobs.
Yeah. So as a low budget movie, I appreciate what this movie does. It doesn't try to be anything bigger than it is, and everyone in it is awesome.
They were the cast was, man.
You do got to give it credit for a movie that came out after the Belko Experiment to have such a similar concept, but be able to differentiate it is a pretty good achievement. They're similar but different movies.
Tying back to what I said about the first movie is everybody in this movie too was one of those characters where you look at them and you're like, wait, I know that guy from somewhere too.
Yeah.
A lot of these actors were also somebody that you also saw somewhere. Just subconsciously, you don't know exactly where they were until you actually, did some research. Especially the boss. I didn't know.
Stephen Brand.
Yeah.
Like as you find out where they're from, like holy shit, like where are these people from?
Yeah, he was actually in Scorpion King. He's in Teen Wolf.
God, he was, yeah.
Well, the Siren too.
Yeah.
She was in Supernatural, which she was, I believe, she was one of the Crossroad Demons.
Well, you could tell. I mean, the thing about it is the rare gem in this movie is Samara Weaving. Because you could tell the rest of the cast, they're good. They're really good in their roles and in the movie, but you could tell they're a cast on a budget. When you've got Glenn as the leading man, you know that you're not dealing with AAA budgeting. But with that said, a movie like this, had it not had somebody like Samara Weaving in that role, and you had some generic actress who sucks, the movie could have been a lot shittier. Like a lot shittier. Fortunately, there was a chemistry between her and Steven. And they were able to kind of build that rapport of like, yeah, they want to screw each other, but they also might kill each other. You know, like that sort of thing, which I respected a lot in the movie. The chemistry between those two was done well, to where kind of there was that fine line of like, are you my enemy or my friend? And it changed by the minute.
The funny thing about when it first starts, and he's telling about your inhibition gets clouded, and there's people killing people in the background. All of a sudden, you see somebody having sex, and you see boobs on the. And
Yeah.
My wife goes, "What the hell are we watching?" And I'm like,
Have you ever heard of scat porn?
It was the reaction of my wife at the beginning when she saw the breasts. I was like, I don't know. It's part of the movie. We're watching together.
I always like to watch movies like this, and every now and then from my wife, you'll hear, "Oh Jesus!" I always love when you hear like, "Oh God," whether it be a good kill or something random.
What's good about this though is there was, it's not. What do you call it? Gratuitous nudity. It wasn't even like how the '80s movies were.
No, it was like a flash on screen.
It wasn't like it was just there because it's there. It was part of the story. It's explaining what's going on. But like back in the '80s when we were watching me as a kid, anytime there was nudity, it was just because the director wanted some breast in the movie, and
I'm
that's
okay with that.
Put it in.
Little side note: Alex's favorite childhood movie was The Accused.
No. Bad story about that is I have a friend who actually loved that movie, and I don't like it.
Well, maybe he was just a pinball enthusiast.
That was his favorite scene.
Oh no.
He's not in jail.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have that friend as a friend anymore. Tell him,
we don't talk.
Good, yeah. You can write letters to whatever asylum he ends up in.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap up on Mayhem. How many Lewis hot dogs you gonna give this one?
Who's going first?
Lewis.
Man, I'll go. So I like what this movie does. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's not a bad movie. I'm gonna go with a 4 out of 5.
Alejandro, your
I'm
turn.
going to out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Sorry, did I make that too dramatic?
I mean, not if you're Guy Fieri.
I gotta get some fucking cold here.
All right, man. Take us to Flavortown.
Yes. Gotta have the celery salt. His voiceovers. Tonight we're visiting a diner, and it's like, we get it. You enjoy gluttony. I give it 3 out of 5. I really like it. Rewatching it again.
3 out of 5. Nah, start over, man.
Didn't hold up as well for me on my third watch through at this point. She's the highlight. Glenn's okay. It's just, as Lewis said, there's, for the most part, you don't see its budget, but when you do, it's a little glaring.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy the movie a lot. I think for its budget, for the time frame it was filmed, the fact that it was filmed in fucking Serbia and everybody probably was miserable. I like it a lot. I'd honestly do a 3 out of 5 on it.
Well, knowing all the information now that it was filmed in Serbia and the budget they had, and they were able to accomplish what they did, that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I don't feel, like there's the spectrum for me. Like 4 out of 5 is reserved for, like, I gave Ready or Not a 5 out of 5. 4 out of 5 has got to be a movie that, I mean, let's be honest though. Ready or Not had how much? What was the budget on Ready or Not? $6 million? And this had $2.5 million. So you're talking roughly over twice the budget. Do you feel that Ready or Not is only twice the budget is good? Or do you feel Ready or Not, whatever the math works out to, you don't have to keep saying it. Do you feel that Ready or Not is only 2/3 better, or would you prefer Ready or Not every time?
Compared to what I've been watching lately?
No, compared to Mayhem, the movie we just reviewed, asshole.
For me, I can't really compare them, just because when I think of horror movies, I kind of categorize, like I hold them in their genres. Like I won't compare The Shining to Halloween. So my rating is just because I love low budget horror movies. I love trashy horror movies, and
It is a trashy horror movie. Well, it's not a horror. Well, Mayhem for one thing is not a horror movie. It's it's more of a dark comedy, action, whatever you want to classify it. But it's really not. There's no scary bits in it.
No, and for me, my rating comes from a point of like this movie just does a lot for what it can do, and I'm used to a lot of low budget horror movies that don't.
You know what it reminded me of in the beginning is Wanted. James McAvoy's character in Wanted, really, Glenn's character reminded me of his. Like, it's very much the same kind of, like, he's not a loser, but he's not what he wants to be. Like, I think they're both pretty similar in that kind of tonal. And I like how that his character achieves that tonal balance throughout. Like, even as he gets darker and more violent, he's still that same sarcastic asshole.
If I had to choose which one I want to listen to, I'd actually listen to Glenn over James McAvoy, because I don't know, something about him, like how he talks, it's just I appreciate that more than James McAvoy's X-Men whatever voice.
Dude,
well,
I
James
love
McAvoy is also doing an American voice in a movie, and he's British, so a little bit different. What do you mean okay? You're literally talking about some dude who doesn't have to do any accent in a movie, comparing a British guy doing an American accent, and your response is, okay, fuck you. All right, so...
3 out of 5, all right? So
yeah, I did. So fuck you. I don't even know how that relates, but... So you guys give it a 4 out of 5. I give it a 3 out of 5. I'm getting attacked for my review. You guys are so intolerant. I'm being fucking bullied.
You're off the show. We're keeping your face on the logo, though.
Yeah, it is a pretty great logo. I don't blame you. Thanks for listening or watching. We're going to have a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back with you.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us once again. I found a list. It's an interesting one. So 10 greatest female action characters of all time.
All time.
Ranked.
All time.
All time.
Looking through this list, I'm going to be interested to hear your guys' opinions, but we'll start at number 10. Now, this is a film I haven't seen. It's the character of Hannah Heller from the movie Hannah. Have either of you guys seen this film?
Negative. No,
Yeah,
I have not.
it's pretty good. It's got Eric Bana in it as well. He plays, basically, he's like an ex-CIA operative who raises her to be a survivalist because he knows that they're going to come for her. It's got actually some pretty badass action scenes where she takes on some, they're basically mercenaries, for the generic type, bad guy attacking. I mean,
From the first Incredible Hulk, right?
Yeah, Munich,
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. He's pretty good in it. This is one of those movies that I didn't think would be on a list like this because they don't glorify it as like, anytime you have like women's empowerment list, you have it in this tone of pretty cool for a woman, huh? And this movie does a very good job of she's just he trains her to be a legit badass, and
But
some of the scenes are cool.
Didn't Amazon turn this into a show?
Yeah, I have not watched the show.
They did.
I haven't watched it. Okay.
I've seen the trailers for this movie when it was coming out, and it looked pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest though, with this character starting at the top 10 for this list, it might turn into a real shit show.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on this one. I didn't expect this to be here.
Yeah.
This list is by Cinema Blend. So does anyone have any other thoughts on Hannah?
No, I just wish Hannah can go to school like every other young girl, get a good education. That's all.
All right, so number 9 on this list is Trinity from the Matrix movies, which I like the Matrix movies.
I do too.
I like Trinity?
Do I like Trinity? No.
And here's the problem is, I don't know. They didn't make her likable. Like in the first one, they tried to make her ultra badass, but she had dumb lines like, "Dodge this, poo." Like it's just she's not that she's a bad actress, but the character poof like a gun. Don't interrupt me. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
I said pew. I made a gun
Pew.
gesture. Pay attention to the camera, douche.
I'm
Pew.
listening.
Yeah, you got eyes too. I don't know if you know that. It's these things. You got 4 of them. I don't know. I just didn't like. She wasn't. I don't know. The movie Matrix could have not had her in it, and I would have been okay with it. Like, I just don't care about her character.
After watching her in oh God, what is that one called? Anyways, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That her in that one movie was just
Her in that one movie. All right, so jumping to number 8, and guys, I apologize. This list is gonna get worse.
Oh well.
And then it's gonna get weird, and then it's gonna get good. So number 8 is Hit Girl from Kick-Ass, which is a great film.
It is a good movie.
She is a badass in it.
She's awesome. Well, her stunt double is.
Does it justify her being a?
Yeah. Does it justify her being as number 8 of all time? I don't know.
I feel like whoever wrote this list was just like Googled like female heroines who kill people.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Hit Girl. She's one of the better parts of that movie. Her and Nicolas Cage really steal that entire film.
Did Nicolas Cage really?
Yeah.
His Bizarro Batman was awesome.
I don't know.
When they light him on fire and he's like, "Child," like he goes full Nicolas Cage in that movie. He does. I like him in that quite a bit.
I still think he is an actor where you hire him and you get Nick Cage. That is it.
Yeah. You see, he's gonna be what's his face in the Netflix story version, the Tiger King.
Tiger King, yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's filming it for Netflix.
Yes.
Did you see that she's going to be on Dancing with the Stars, Carol Baskin?
I did see that. But can you imagine? Like, I don't know. Like,
we live in.
I probably shouldn't be this excited to see Nicolas Cage portray the Tiger King, but I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. So does anyone have any other thoughts on number 8 on this list?
I don't know if she belongs to you.
Yes, I don't know if she. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
So number 7 doesn't get any better, guys.
Yeah.
Lara Croft from Lara Croft Tomb Raider. This was a bad movie.
Yeah, I don't like the Lara Croft films. I don't really care for. Yeah, I don't care for her as an actress. I don't find her to be exceptionally talented. She's just kind of like whatever. And then you make a boring movie. Like, you made a female version of a boring Indiana Jones, and I'm supposed to eat it because I like the video games? Like, I disagree with this. Lara Croft isn't a great movie character. She's a great video game character.
Well, if they had the right actress, it probably would have been a better movie. But
I mean, well, the Tomb Raider reboot they did wasn't terrible, but even, rather than sticking with the story structure, they went PG-13.
I don't like the fact that they keep using known actors or actresses for roles. They should actually find somebody that could actually fit the role. Well,
they did with the reboot, that Lara Croft movie that came out 2 years ago or whatever it was.
I haven't watched either because of this.
It's different. It tries to follow the video game storyline a little bit better, or a little bit the new reboot of the video games at least.
Of Lara Croft Tomb Raider, they're actually going to do a Uncharted, so that'll be fun to see.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. You got Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, and you've got Mark Wahlberg as Sully. The casting doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll see. On with the show.
Moving on.
I don't know. I would a younger Nathan Fillion as
but
Drake would have been the best.
You can make him Drake now. He's in his 40s in real life, but he's kept himself in okay shape. He doesn't have any haggard wrinkles.
He's actually in a low budget indie short where he plays.
I saw that,
Nathan
and he's really good in it.
Yeah. So I guess any other thoughts on the fantastic Lara Croft Tomb Raider movie?
No, I love Nathan Fillion. Oh wait, we were talking about that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay.
All right. So number 6 on this list is Lilu from The Fifth Element.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
I don't disagree that the character's badass, but how can we in good conscience call it a female when it's a fucking alien? that just happens to look like a female human.
I'm torn with this movie because I love The Fifth Element. I can't stand Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
a huge fan of hers either. But I liked her in this movie quite a bit.
She wasn't horrible in it though. She did her job. She came to work, she performed, and she did her job.
Well, that's because she didn't really have any speaking lines, so you don't have to deal with her acting. It's just her bouncing around the room.
She had to say multi-pass a couple of times.
Multi-pass. Chicken. When she puts it in the microwave, the little pill, and out comes a fully cooked giant chicken.
Cornelius!
Please help. When he's help. Please help. Most intelligent being on the fucking universe right here. Please help.
Oh god, Chris Rock in his role.
It's literally a fucking weapon of mass destruction. Please help. Okay. And then Bruce Willis, he's like literally throughout the entire movie only thinks of his dick. Like that's the only thing he like ever thinks of.
I am a meat popsicle.
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
He's like retired from the military, and all he does is fucking smoke opium.
We're sending someone in to negotiate. All right, enough. Oh god damn it, the next one too.
This list is bad.
I like her in this one though.
So
I like Leland Alice or whatever.
Let me introduce it. Number 5 is Alice from Resident Evil. This series had one good movie.
The first one, yeah.
It was the first one.
Yeah.
First one.
And it was only good because of how many pieces of shit came out based around video games before it. Like it wasn't amazing, but it was good enough to where people are like, yeah, I think it's a pretty good movie.
You know what made it good? I'm going to go back to the first episode of our podcast, the soundtrack.
Yeah, it did have an okay. Yeah, I remember when that came out. It had like
Resident Evil, a good fucking movie.
Well, it had that one Slipknot song in it that was remixed for the actual soundtrack. I can't remember the name. Me Inside? No, it was a different one. Anyways, My Plague, maybe?
Yeah, My Plague. No, but that's what made the first Resident Evil, for me, likable, is the whole soundtrack from the first Resident Evil. So after that, I didn't care much for anything.
No, and it's this movie is another Rob Zombie, Sherry Moon thing where Mila Jovovich's husband puts her in everything, and she's not a great actor.
Is he the director of this?
Yeah. Yeah, for all of them. There's also a movie based on a video game called Monster Hunter. When
I heard that
directing it.
Is that the new movie that's coming out with her too?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Mila Jovovich is the main she's one of the main characters in a movie that was made by Japanese developers, like the video game was. Like, she doesn't make any fucking sense being in any movie surrounding it. She's old. Like, knock it off. You're in your late 40s. You're not Alice anymore. I will say this. Back in 2002, I was in 7th grade or 8th grade, maybe. Yeah, something like that. 7th, 8th grade. And one of the my favorite parts at this time in this movie, because I was a little perverted kid, was at the end of the movie when she wakes up and she's in the hospital and she's plugged into all the machines.
How many times did you pause?
So many times did I pause when she falls and you catch just a little bit of her bajingo, as Dr. Elliot Reed would call it. That DVD must have gotten that's because you were doing the same thing and you're 10 years older than me. You're over here like fucking Mila Jovovich is. So, but yeah, I remember being a little perverted kid on the DVD, just like, oh, I caught it just right. You can kind of, it was almost like Spice Channel, where you just flipping back and forth, then you think you see a tit.
We also had friends that would talk about how buff is she.
Oh yeah. All right. Anyways, I do. Yeah, it's another episode. All right.
This is a movie about strong women, and we're talking about her vagina.
Well, like I said, I was 12 years old, and I was a fan of the video game franchise. So you're kind of like watching it, like, I love the video. Oh my, was that vagina? Like you're 12, you're whatever your 8th grade years old is.
Do you say
All
8?
right, so
8th grade years old.
so jump into number 4, and this is where this list starts to go uphill.
Some
I would say.
legitimization of it.
So number 4, we have the bride, or Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill.
Kiddo. I like this. I like this one. Are they doing like a third movie for this?
There's been rumors, and they're trying. There's been some younger actresses about taking the mantle up.
Is it going to be a prequel, or is it going to be a
I was gonna say,
continuation?
There's no confirmation or anything on it. Tarantino hasn't said anything.
No information.
How much more can you kill Bill? He's dead.
Well, no, the whole idea would be the black lady. What's the actress is in this that she ends up killing in the first one, that the daughter sees at the end of the fight they have. The whole idea, the whole premise that they've been shopping around apparently is that the daughter's grown.
Her name?
Yeah, where the daughter's, remember, because at the end she kills her mom and she says, if you grow up and you feel any sort of way about this, come find me. So the proposed idea behind it would be the girl is grown up and she's going to look for her to kill her.
Okay.
I mean, the Asian bar scene where she just wipes them all out with a fucking sword is one of the coolest action scenes. I mean, the fact that nobody knew Tarantino can do action that well. And not only does he does action well, but he does martial arts, old school Asian movie type action, Seven Swords type action really well. I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes of any movie. In the movie theater, when I saw this, in the beginning of it, when they kind of show her laying there in the black and the white, and then he pulls the trigger, I remember that it was so loud that it scared the fuck out of me. Because that scene is quiet, and then out of nowhere, it's a from the gunshot. Yeah. And I remember being younger in the theaters watching that, and I was like, oh, fuck me. And that set a weird tone for the whole movie for me. It kind of put me on edge for the whole thing.
Yeah, I own both of these on Blu-ray, and I kind of want to rewatch them.
I know, seeing this makes me want to watch that.
Any other thoughts on Kill Bill?
I wish number 2 would have had more action.
Yeah, but it was all story, man. When you look at, yeah, well, I'm not going to get into it. It's versus what's his name, Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino.
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. I as far as the story goes and how they go, but I like both Kill Bills. Kill Bill 2 should have had more action in it, but I did enjoy both these movies. They were something different. Finally, there was something different, during that time. But I don't have no disagreements on this at being number 4.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right. So jumping to number 3, we have Furiosa from Mad Max Fury Road.
I don't know if I'd put her at number fucking 3.
No, she's no.
Like, literally,
film.
in the description, it says not only has she lost one arm, which does not hinder her of fighting skills in the slightest, but she also knows what it is to fight for survival. It's like she was an okay character. Like, there's rumors that they're going to make a prequel and Charlize Theron's not even going to be in it, and it's going to be the story of Furiosa.
Oh, I thought they were going to show how she lost her arm.
Well, they're gonna. That's the whole thing.
Well, she's not going to be in it, though.
Well, the actress is, and it's going to be the same character.
Just a different person.
Yeah, it's all about her lead up to Max Payne or Mad Max. I don't know. She's a okay character, but I thought she was overhyped when the movie came out. Personally, I still think the same thing.
I think her acting during that movie was like subpar, though. It did. I've seen her in other stuff, and it wasn't believable. I don't know. I like the main character better than I don't even know if I liked him better. I don't know.
I always have a problem with movies that have to have that like battle between the genders of witty banter and who's tougher.
Yeah.
It's always so fake and artificial. Like, realistically, if you're being chased by an entire tribe of madmen on motorcycles and dune buggies and monster trucks, the last thing you should care about is who's tougher.
It doesn't matter if it's a male or a female.
Like, yeah, this isn't Lethal Weapon 1 or Lethal Weapon 2 where you're comparing scars. Doesn't work that way.
What was that Lethal Weapon 2?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be 3.
I thought it was 3. Yeah, 1 and 2 was different, and then 3 and 4.
Yeah, because 2 he's dealing with the South Africans. So yeah, it's 3 with
Yeah.
Renee Russo.
3 and 4. Yeah, 3 and 4 is when they
But-
which I saw the other day. We're
Yeah.
family.
But yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of like in these movies where you're talking survival, the battle of the sexes shouldn't exist. It's stupid.
Getting back to Lethal Weapon, I love Renee Russo. Renee Russo.
I too
and,
love Renee Renuso.
all of the Lethal Weapons that she was in. Yeah. All right,
I like to go up to her and say, Mrs. Renuso, I have followed your career for years. Sorry, Lewis, go ahead.
All right, so
Matt's favorite.
Jumping to number 2, definitely makes sense. Sarah Connor from Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
I think she should have been number 1. I don't know what number 1 is. I don't know what number 1 is yet.
Number one is a hard one to topple.
Okay, well, I don't know number 1 yet.
So number 2 is Sarah Connor from Terminator 2. There's only one scene in this movie that I don't like of Sarah Connor's, and that's when she almost kills Dyson. Now I understand the idea.
Okay, is that the weight?
Well, this is before that when she storms his home and shoots him in the shoulder.
She storms the house.
Oh
yeah.
no, well, I'm sorry. What I meant was that's the guy with the weight, right?
Yeah, that's Dyson,
Okay.
bruh.
Okay, well, I don't remember. I don't have a photographic memory like you. I apologize.
Bullshit. She's the original, like one of the original badasses. If you want to say Jamie Lee Curtis is, the horror movie original badass
She's
female.
a scream queen, yeah.
Besides her, number 1, obviously, but Sarah Connor's, she doesn't have any. She's mostly all about the logic and all about the idea of this is the mission, and that's kind of her prerogative, And the other thing is, the nice thing about Sarah's character is there's such a juxtaposition from the first movie that you see how this whole future battle does affect her. In the first movie, she's a kind of a sweet young girl who's a waitress and very innocent.
She's aloof to everything.
And by number 2, she's in an insane asylum. She's got roots down in New Mexico where she's got guns hidden with groups of militia. So she's been to war per se. So like, it's a cool progression of the character. She's one of the original badasses. The chick takes on liquid metal 1-on-1 and takes basically a sword to the shoulder and keeps going. I do want to say rip to her sister. The only way some of those scenes were able to be shot was because she's got an identical twin sister. So
really?
So scenes like where liquid metal's chasing her in the factory, where you show they have Sarah Connor's like yelling for John, and then the other Sarah Connor appears behind her with the shotgun and shoots her, and it's actually like that's her twin sister playing her.
Oh, wow.
The same thing about this scene where they film it where they're repairing Schwarzenegger in the mirror, taking the bullets out of the flesh. They did that where there was a puppet with her sister, and then she was on the other side. So a lot of those shots would have been a lot cheesier looking had her twin sister not been in the movie. So, as Terminator 2 is probably my favorite movie of all time. So I do want to say rip to somebody that's more integral in that movie than a lot of people think.
Although Linda Hamilton she got permanent hearing damage in the elevator scene.
Yeah, from
bugs.
Yeah, they were they didn't have anything in there, and I mean that's the truth of it. It'll happen. I mean, they were firing 45s. And it's loud.
It just brought me back to something that'll happen. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, Terminator 2 is
what I'm talking about.
The greatest movies of all time. And also, Linda Hamilton was awesome in the first Terminator as well.
Yeah, she's got that. She's got the famous line, "You're terminated, motherfucker." Like at the end of the first one.
As she progressed in age, though, her acting ability is
Yeah, but her revival of the character in the latest Terminator was not. It wasn't bad, but it was.
Does she smoke a lot? I mean, I'm just.
Yeah, she does look like she's been a gym teacher out in the sun ever
she's
since.
A gym teacher.
Yeah.
you
She
know,
was,
cigarettes.
she was also married to James Cameron for a couple years.
Yep.
She was, or she still is?
No, she
She
was
was.
one of the many exes of
Oh.
James Cameron.
Oh, is that how it goes? Because yeah, but
Well,
during the filming of this, she was married to him.
for number 2, yeah. Number 1,
Yeah.
I don't think they were met yet, or they were
They
married
met.
yet. They met, but
Yeah.
yeah, they weren't married.
Any other things to say about Terminator?
Nope, love the character. Was a little disappointed to what they kind of turned her into in that new Terminator movie, to
Yeah.
be honest with you.
Other
Okay,
than
so
if you're
now I
listening to this podcast, you should turn this off and go watch Terminator 2.
now I
Fuck
see
that.
why you were talking about number one. All right, my
Yeah,
apologies.
it's hard to topple this. This is one of the original number 1
Yeah.
or ladies of the action realm.
Now I apologize. So yeah.
Yeah, so jumping to number 1, my childhood crush, Ellen Ripley from Alien.
Did you love her from Alien or from Ghostbusters?
No, from Alien.
Okay. You
There's
like the
just
powerful
something.
women,
There's
huh?
just something
Alright.
about a young Sigourney Weaver being chased by an alien in her little cotton panties in a spaceship.
You didn't like her in Working Girl?
No, I really like Alien.
To be fair,
I'm waiting for Matt's response.
she was still great looking in Galaxy Quest too.
Oh yes, yes she was. I love.
No,
Galaxy
I mean
Quest.
it's that's Ellen Ripley is the epitome of survival at any cost. She's a badass. She takes on this alien that if it bleeds on you, you're gone. Like you
Yep.
know, and
It
she
melts your body. It turns you into shit.
you know, but what they turn her into by the end of the Alien franchise, is a little stupid. But
Yeah.
the first Alien and Alien 1, obviously, because it was a mano on mano, her versus the alien. Then you have Aliens 2, which propels her more into the order-giving badass, in that realm.
Which one had Bishop? Is it the first or the second?
First?
No.
No, yeah, first
sure?
one.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, because Bishop takes a bullet to the head at the end of the first one, doesn't he? Or close to the end of the first one?
I don't remember. It's been so long, so that's why I was asking. The first or the second?
Well, that's the whole thing is Bishop is, that's where they based, from the Prometheus movie, Michael, whatever, Fassbender's character of the android is based on, the whole idea is Bishop was the original technology that has now bloomed into that creation.
Oh, so that's the universe that it's connected?
Yeah,
Okay.
Alien and Prometheus and all that is the same universe.
Okay.
I do,
Cool.
but it's wonky. This is another franchise where someone should just take Ridley Scott's toy box away from him and be like, "You did your part. We'll fix this."
Yeah.
I have lots of problems with the new Alien movies compared to this, but like another cool thing about this movie is the inspiration that her role in this movie, like so many movies have tried to emulate, and even in the video games. So this movie came out in the late 70s, 79.
Yep.
A game from Nintendo called Metroid came out in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
So the character Samus Aran was based off of Ridley. And in the mid 80s there weren't a lot of female-led video games. And one of the cool things that Nintendo did was they purposely waited to the end of the game. Spoiler for Metroid, if
Super
anyone
Metroid,
in the
yeah.
future
If you don't know by now, you don't know by
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, but Samus Aran removes her helmet and it
And she's
turns
got
out
long
it's a
hair.
girl.
Yeah.
And that was fully inspired by Sigourney Weaver's role in Alien, and I think that's just fucking cool.
Well, the whole ending of Super Metroid is based on the ending of Alien 1, where everything's blowing up
Mhm.
around you and you got to get the fuck out of there as fast as you can.
But yeah, for me, I think this is a perfect
That
number one
created
when I
so much
think of
fucking stress on me, by the way.
when I think of like female badass, the first person I think of is Sigourney Weaver in Alien.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, because I feel like there's a couple out there that should have been mentioned and aren't included at all. Like,
You mean like Halle Berry and Catwoman?
Negative.
No, I was thinking Halle Berry and X-Men. But there's,
Or in 007.
I
No,
mean,
just kidding.
there's movies, like, you have movies that I think maybe belonged before Hannah, like Long Kiss Goodnight, Gina Davis's character. She's a
yeah.
badass assassin in that movie that kind of, through programming, doesn't remember. The problem is, are we thinking and that's where this list, I think, kind of goes wrong, because it's in its effort to get as many badass females as it can on the list, it mixes up what defines a badass female. Is
Yeah.
it a movie like Hannah, where it's a female killing people and doing action scenes? Or is it a movie like Alien that creates a franchise and creates a character backstory? You know what I mean? Like,
Would you consider Jamie Lee Curtis's character from Halloween as a badass? She fights Michael Myers.
Not the originals.
It depends really
The
on...
sequel that they just did.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, as far as like she fights somebody.
The problem is it gets so diluted, because by the time you get to
Yeah.
Halloween H2O, she's like fucking one of the students, and it's
It also depends on what Halloween timeline
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
going.
See,
Okay.
I like how
Well,
I like
still the
how
same
they
actress, so.
I like how they utilized her in the sequel, the reboot sequel, whatever you want to call it. They did not too long ago, because they turned her into the hunter for the most part, which I thought was kind of novel.
Okay.
But there's a lot of characters out there that, like, I think I'm trying to think of more that would be better than like Hit Girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hell, this list was written when? You could have done Samara Weaving in
When was it?
how many
Yeah.
roles that she's been in where she was badass. And these are also characters that are badass, which, if you know anything about the character of Hit Girl, after the second movie, she stopped fighting crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I think this list was in certain cases just trying, like, oh, no, she was badass in that movie, let's get her. That's a good character we can put in the list.
Yeah, I think. Have we found a list on an episode that we were like, this is a pretty good list, or have they all?
No.
Well, that 1980s list was a piece of shit. It basically was just comedies and romantic comedies. There was no Die Hard, no Blues Brothers, none of the good stuff. No, we haven't found a list that we 100% agree
Not yet.
on.
See,
Yeah,
I
don't think
did.
we ever are.
I did find a list before this that was literally just every new female lead in a new movie, and I was like, no, let's not go there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. Like, here's the thing. Not that I find the actress to be especially cool, but what's her face from Underworld's character? Celine from Underworld would have been a better character, badass-wise, than Hannah.
Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah, because when the character's name is Celine, like, she starts off the movie as a badass and ends the movies as a badass. Throughout the movie, she just becomes more of a badass. Like, why wasn't her character on this list over Hit Girl? I mean, she's a fucking... Her character's name is a death dealer. You don't get much more badass than that.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the top 20 from Elle, and it's just like throwing anybody who's a woman actress in a movie. They even have Spirited Away, like, okay,
Old lady in wheelchair as extra in this.
and they
movie.
have the Runaways, the musical group, Runaways, okay, and then MTV Hustlers. Okay, yeah, I'm done.
If you take anything from this episode, it's that Samara Weaving is awesome.
Yeah, she should be in more
They
things.
need to take women more seriously.
And Margot Robbie. Well, I don't know about that. They say a lot of stupid things. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know. There's a couple characters I'd have rather seen on this list over that. Here's the thing, and I think that's the whole point of why I like Samara Weaving so much, is just the fact that, like, she pulls off the badass with the vulnerable really well. Like, she's one of those characters that can be getting the shit kicked out of her, showing that she's not superhuman, but can also give a good shit kicking.
Yeah. Exactly. You take an ass whooping, you give an ass whooping, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like, and that's not. I don't look at that as a sexist thing. I look at it as I was raised on movies where it didn't matter who it was. It didn't matter if it was Van Damme, Schwarzenegger, Seagal, Willis. They all
Everybody
got
took
their
an
ass
whooping.
whooped, and then they came out on top.
High tension. You said that earlier tonight when we were talking
Yeah.
before we got on here.
Yeah,
High tension. Doesn't she get her ass kicked and then she
she
comes
gets
back?
her ass whooped quite a bit. I mean, that movie delves into,
Yeah, I get your picture.
But but the idea, like, I always appreciate a movie that shows the humanity. Like, I'm tired of movies that show women like they're made of steel. I don't like movies that show men like they're made of steel.
Exactly,
I-
because nobody is.
I like the humanity part of it, so I get pulled.
Yeah, it doesn't make him human.
No, I get pulled out of a movie when it's like there's a female character that's fighting two guys and they're punching her and she's like nothing. I get, I don't, like, I watched this movie called The Debt Collector the other day, and it's got, I don't remember his name, you would recognize him, he's been in a lot of martial arts movies, as a stuntman and an actor, and he's getting...
Say death or debt?
Debt Collector, D-E-B-T.
Okay.
And he's getting punched in the face, and he's kind of just like, yep, that's okay, punch me again. Like, he's got that, like, didn't hurt, and it pulled me right out of the fucking thing. The movie itself wasn't bad overall, but something like, later on in the movie when he's getting into more and more fights, he's taking more damage. But when it first starts, it's just like, didn't hurt, and then he does a flying back kick, you know what I mean? And
Is it Scott Adkins?
yeah, Scott Adkins. I actually really like Scott Adkins. That guy's been around the block several 100,000 times. Scott Adkins, a.k.a. Deadpool's stunt double in the Wolverine Origins movie.
Oh, is that the one where he had to...
You remember, Alex,
mouth?
you remember when we were talking about it when it came out? And you were like, that's not even fucking Ryan Reynolds. That's a stunt double. It was Scott Adkins.
Okay.
Like, Ryan Reynolds is there
He's
for a
got
second.
The right face. He's
Ev-
got the right face.
Well, face shape. They just digitally put Reynolds' face. Like, literally, that was the thing, is Ryan Reynolds wasn't Deadpool.
And I think you had me confused with somebody else, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I have a good memory. You said it yourself. I know what I'm talking about.
You have a good memory? What?
Listen, for a grown man who listens to Fall Out Boy, I don't want to ever hear that shit from you again.
Hey, I don't listen to Fall Out Boy. My kid...
Then why'd you go to a concert with Fall Out Boy and get high
Because
from
it's my
contact
kid.
buzzing?
It's because my kid was into that
Yeah, that's what they all say. And then
Look below us
then
and
the-
ask him how he did.
then their browser history gets looked at. That's all I'm saying. But that about wraps it up for the night. We got through,
No, it doesn't. Let's keep going.
2 movies tonight that we didn't hate. Both of them we've Ready or Not we loved. Mayhem, we thought it was okay. Next week we're doing kind of an exciting and close to our heart, I think, couple reviews. We're doing RoboCop, the original and the remake. So looking forward to that, and then we'll have another list. We'll figure that out at some point. But we will be here.
Any particular RoboCops as far as what I should be viewing?
Yeah, the original and the remake. Like I just said.
There's no like specials, nothing.
I mean, the remake has an unrated edition that doesn't really add anything to it. I've watched them both. Okay. The original RoboCop, if you do have the unrated version, you are treated to a little bit more violence, both when they kill, him, and then when
no spoilers.
Yeah, okay. It's about time somebody it came out in 1984.
Don't spoil it, okay?
I had to kill Dyson because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake. I had to get rid of Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Anyways, if you watch the unrated,
a fun episode.
There's Ed 209 in the scene in the boardroom is a little bit more extended and more violent, but overall,
5 seconds, 4 seconds.
well, the
30
crazy
seconds.
thing is that was rated as X-rated or NC-17, that cut of it, and Amazon, when they first put RoboCop on the streaming, they didn't pay attention and they put the unrated cut on there. So people watched it, and there was a lot of people that hadn't seen it for the first time or hadn't seen it in a long time, and they were like, "Holy shit, this is hyper violent." And you know, realistically, it's only a little bit of footage they had, but that was a big hubbubaloo for a lot of people because Amazon threw that one out there.
Awesome.
But yeah, we'll be doing both RoboCop the original and RoboCop the remake. I like them both, obviously, but we'll get into that next week. And then we are looking forward to, we're going to round out September, and then we are going to have a Halloween month. All of October, we are going to be doing 3 reviews per episode, all centered around different genres, or different categories of the horror genre. So we look forward to that. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and if you guys like to say anything, please go ahead, and until next time.